Good morning. It's still morning here in Indiana. I have been divinely guided to do an all signs reading, and I'm going to try to do that weekly. In addition to all of the zodiac signs that I am doing, and also my twin flame divine partner readings that I'm doing now. So I have pulled a few more cards than usual. Because this is for all signs, but I did want to say that anyone is welcome to watch any of the videos at any time because they're, for everyone, to learn from. And I've noticed that a lot of times the energy is the same. That's the reason why I've been divinely guided to do one big reading. I do feel like with my cards, I'm more of a teacher than a fortune teller. I try to help people to change their perspective, change their view. Teach people how to manifest. Lately I've been like a little discouraged because like my views, my stats have gone down, since I started. But basically the message that I got from Spirit was that whoever is meant to watch my videos will watch them, and that's really an ego-based energy anyway for me to like care about stats and fame and all that kind of stuff, because I'm not here for that. This is my soul's purpose. So if you have been guided to watch one of my videos, I'm honored, because that, like I said, that is my soul's purpose and the reason why I'm doing this. I'm very passionate about it. I thought, maybe yesterday I was even like, maybe I should, be more like, other readers and, really entice people to come and watch my videos because of all the good things that I'm going to tell you that are going to happen. And then I thought, no, I'm just going to stick to what I've been doing, my messages, whatever comes through, because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and I'm just going to be real to whatever comes up. And I'm, like I said, I'm not taking away from any other readers in any way that they do it. It's just, this is how I've been divinely guided to read cards. So this is what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. And I don't care how many people watch a video. If one person finds it and it's what they need, then it was worth it. So that is my view on that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And the first card that I have is the Ten of Stars. And basically the message that I got with this is this. And this could be perceived as a negative energy, but there's a certain amount of treachery, backstabbing, feeling like people aren't treating you well. Maybe you've been having issues with people at work or with your family, and you're really feeling betrayed, because this is a betrayal, like a treachery card. And so the message that's coming through from Spirit is to just not judge it. A lot of times human beings want to label everything. Everything has to make sense. We want to categorize. Something comes up, we want to fit it in a box. Okay, this is bad. This is good. And even when we label things as good and we have a false sense of happiness, that happiness is outside of ourselves, and it's dependent upon those circumstances that we deemed as good. And then if we don't have any more of those circumstances coming into our life that we deem as good, then guess what? We're not happy. And it's bad. Then it's bad. Because now we're back in lack. Because we no longer have those things that we deemed good that made us happy. And so this all starts with us. So the message that's coming through from Spirit is to check your energy all the time. I know I was on this bandwagon for about 3 days because messages came through from Spirit about this whole labeling and judging that humans like to do. That is our fear-based control energy, where we have this illusion. Control is just an illusion. But we want to know everything. We want to understand it. And we like I said, with labels. So I've been on this bandwagon lately about releasing that, because you really do limit the universe when you see things in terms of black and white. And understand, your soul does not know language. There are no words that can even possibly describe what is happening on a universal level. And so when we try to categorize things, we limit the universe. which is why we really need to stop thinking, and we need to be in that place of that void of the unknown. We're so scared of the unknown. We want to know everything. We want to understand how it works. And the magic is in the unknown. In most of my videos this past week, I talked about having a blank slate. And when you don't have all these expectations of how you think things should look, you have that blank slate that the universe can come in and paint it for you. And it's so much more amazing than what you could ever imagine. So also, a lot of what we judge to be bad is victim mentality. I know I have attracted a lot of situations even over the past week. I had, one of my customers who really did me very bad. They didn't pay me for my product. So they basically ended up getting away with free stuff. And so I had made up my mind, look, I'm just not going to deal with them anymore. I'm going to cut them off. And then they found me when I was out street vending and went to buy stuff. And I said, hey, that's all good and everything, but you're going to have to pay me what you already owe me. And they threw a fit and ran off all my customers and blasted me on Facebook. And it was just like real unfair. It was very unfair. And then they bullied me, and I kind of went through that for like a whole day where I just really messed my money up too. And I was really angry. I really was. And then I had to think about how I had attracted that situation. Because that morning when I went to drop off his products to him, I went to go in this building where he works. And I had some fears come up. And understand, I had had problems with this person before, and I had been needing to cut them off. So it was perfect the way it worked out. But walking in, I remember thinking, you know what? This is bad. I'm a woman walking in this building. Anything could happen to me. And I feel like in that moment, I aligned to it because I expected not to be treated well. So definitely do check your energy, and oftentimes there is a lesson in it. My lesson was really learning to be fearless and being brave. And, even though this person blasted me, I had to really pull back my energy, and I had to be like, you know what? People know me. I've been doing business in this community for 15 years. I have never, ever done anybody wrong. And I almost guarantee if somebody does you that way, they've done other people that way. And so people automatically know. So I fell back in the place of, you know what? I know who I am. And I really don't give a damn what anybody says about me. And so that was the lesson in that. And that was the first time I had ever done that. Usually I would have been real upset about that. This is my reputation. This is my business. And I finally said, you know what? The universe has it handled. I quickly, in my head, I forgave the person. I handed it over to the universe because there is a karmic checks and balance system in place in the universe. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to do anything to get even. It will be resolved. There will be justice, and I don't have to do anything for it except just continue living my own life and do forgive to take back my own power, because we give our power away when we're still angry and holding grudges against people. So it really taught me forgiveness too, because I'm a Scorpio, and I'm going to tell you what, I will hold a grudge. I used to want revenge. Like, he used to be in trouble, the devil himself. And I say that, that I believe that the ego is the devil, but, it's just figure of speech. The devil himself would run for cover when I was mad. So, this really showed growth on my part. So that's my personal story. This video is going to be real long. Especially if I keep getting sidetracked with stories, I apologize. But that's the energy I'm getting with that. That story I told you, that's the energy. So now we have the Four of Moons. And this is discontentment. This is dissatisfaction. Just a general overall boredom. And really feeling like you're missing something. Like you should be doing more. what is my sole purpose? Why am I here? You know, this mundane job that I have, this mundane existence is just not getting it for me anymore. And really feeling like you can't do any more than what you're doing. You're just stuck. And Spirit wants to let you know that you are not stuck. This is a mental prison. This is a self-imposed prison that you're in. So do free yourself and take back control of your life. And how do you do that? First of all, by taking your power back from these situations that you've been in, forgiving the people, having good boundaries, you know, and just knowing it's all right to walk away from people and situations and circumstances that don't serve you. That message came through too. But definitely step outside the box and realize that you are more than your circumstances right now. You are a divine being having human experiences. And you really have to step into your power. And how do you step into your power? By realizing you're a divine being having human experiences. You are more than your human body. You have been other things too. Even if your physical body died today, you would still be an eternal soul, and you would just become something else. Or you would return to, that source energy that is pure love where you came from. So realize that. There's power in that. And the other message that came through for me this week, because I'm really learning what is ego and what's not ego. And with the label thing, human beings want to find some kind of way that they can feel like they're some kind of superhero, like my instance, and understand we all have a twin flame. Some of us have had soul recognition with our twin flame, and others are still, that still hasn't happened yet. So I know in the twin flame community, everyone wanted to believe, oh, we're superheroes and we have magical powers and we're better than the rest of the universe. Or with the term empath, I know I pissed some people off and triggered some people in my Aquarius video. But what I had said was, as the planet starts to ascend and we reach a deeper level of consciousness, everyone will be more sensitive to energy. And to sit back and, call other people narcissists when we actually attract those situations by where we vibrate at, we're not being responsible for our own energy. So to want to label ourselves, and that's just like, with religion, I'm Catholic, therefore I'm better than Jews and Muslims, or something like that. Something that makes us feel superior, gives us a false sense of security. All I'm saying is watch that. Just really watch that and be very aware of your own energy. We have the Justice card. And this is what I was talking about earlier, about that karmic checks and balances that is in the universe. You don't have to do anything to get even with anybody. And in fact, even holding a grudge against them hurts you more than it hurts them. We get what we put out. So if you have attracted a lesson, and 9 times out of 10, if we attract a lesson, it's with people who operate at a lower level of consciousness than what we do. No judgment. It just is what it is. So understand that and accept that and really look in the mirror and see what they're showing you. What is it this is teaching me? Because that is the key to navigating this journey called life. To clarify that card, we have the Vincent van Gogh. These are my art oracle cards. I love these. If committed, stay committed. Posthumous recognition requires a paper trail. Use the daylight to face the night. So my thing is that I don't talk too much about healing. I know there's a lot of people out here that are big on healing and healing chakras. Chakra system, as y'all know, the other day I try not to do my chakra cards because the chakra system is not my strong point, and I got the chakra wrong. The first chakra is not the solar plexus, it's the root chakra, and someone politely corrected me. But I know a lot of people are big on healing. I tend to be more about being conscious and shining the light on things. It's all about raising your consciousness and becoming aware. Because you can heal. I know people who've been healing things for years and they haven't made any progress. And the reason why is because they're not facing things. It's all about facing different patterns and cycles you've been in. And really recognizing what's from your ego and from your soul. And it takes a certain amount of mindfulness. And I catch myself all the time wanting to slip back into ego patterns. And like I said, even with me worried about my stats on YouTube, that was so egotistical. That was my ego energy trying to feed. It's a very sneaky energy, and it feeds in ways that you wouldn't believe, as far as like wanting recognition, wanting to be noticed. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I have to really be careful when I post anything on social media, and I have to check my intention. And I call it that look at me energy. This is not that look at me energy, is it? Because when you're in that look at me energy, guess what you're going to attract? You're going to attract so-called haters and people who are jealous of you or whatnot, because guess what you're putting out? That's what you're wanting. That's what your ego wants. And then you talk about it. Oh, I've got all these haters and people don't like me and all this. And they're jealous and they're envious of me. But you know what? That's what your ego lined you up with. And your ego does not want you to be happy. So really be mindful of that. So when I go to post something now, I try to make sure it's from a pure place and not from that look at me energy. We have the Wheel of Fortune. And this is all about those cycles that we're in. And the message that I got with this was that whole what we put out is what we get back. This is that karmic wheel. And that whole balancing system. And not just that, but really making sure that what we put out, like I was saying with this card here, is what we want to come back. Be very mindful of the energy you're putting out and what you're attracting. That's why I said be very, very responsible for your own energy. And now on this soul's journey that you are on, there are no mistakes. So even if you do attract the same lesson like 20 times, it's still being divinely guided, because you're still going to get to the same place. It's just you're going to have more lessons. And a lot of times people call that suffering. Oh, I have all this suffering and life has been so hard for me. But that's victim mentality. So do clear that and flip it around, and you be responsible for it, for the situations you've created, and start creating better ones. To clarify that card, we have, when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Beautiful. So this is what I was talking about. Use the daylight to face the night. So definitely do really connect to your soul energy. And I have just recently done this. And it is that energy that is inside of you that I know I tried to cover it up. I was scared of it because it really did scare me. It just, the way that it vibrates, the way that it feels. I was like, oh, this is anxiety, or, this is depression. And, I tried to use substances. I tried to medicate it. I tried to run from it. But now I embrace it, and I'm trying to balance my energy. I'm trying to clear any type of fears and doubts that I have. And I'm really embracing that vibration that I have inside of me, that core vibration. And that is where I'm using that to manifest from now, instead of my mind. I'm trying to keep my mind a blank slate. We have the Tower card. And for me, and when I got this card, I've been using the Nostradamus, like these are the Nostradamus cards. This is not, but I had the book out, so I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and look up the meaning of the Burning Tower. And when I did, I got the prophetic definition, and that was because, Nostradamus was all about that. And it said something about the towers at 9/11, which I thought was real interesting because to clarify this card, we have the wealthy man. And basically, the energy that I got, and the tower is all about being on a solid foundation. Okay. And when you have cracks in your foundation, guess what happens? It comes crumbling down. So when I saw this, I was thinking, that in that moment, that when them towers came crashing down, nothing else mattered. Where you worked at, what you did for a living, how much money you made. Everyone was on an equal level when that happened. You could have been a hot dog street vendor, and you could have been like somebody that worked on Wall Street. You were on an equal footing when that tragedy happened, because everybody was stripped of all of that, and they were brought right down to who they were, a very vulnerable human level. It was a very primal level, and people really got to see what truly mattered to them, and that was their loved ones. That was compassion towards other human beings. And so that is the energy that I'm really getting from these cards right here, is to really know what matters and know that you are more than your human body. You are a soul, like I said, a divine being having a human experience. And something like this really shows you that. And so that's the energy that I got from these cards, is just know that you are more than your human body. It's beautiful. And this video is going to be a little longer than the others. I hope everybody's okay with it. We have the Empress card. And the Empress is all about being connected to nature. This is that wild nature, really getting in touch with that soul energy, and being knowing that you are connected to everything on the planet. We are all one consciousness, from the bees to the flowers. Even rocks have energy. We're all connected, and knowing that, and like I said, a tragedy like this lets you know that real quick. There's nothing like something like this happening for people to really get in touch with, like I said, their soul energy and their wild nature, their primal nature. The wild hunt, excitement, frenzy, and journey. And so this is following your heart's desire and knowing that you are more than just what you do for a living. The energy that I'm getting from these cards is to really focus on your own ascension. And once you do that, everything else will fall into place. Now, ascension is spiritual awakening, taking in spiritual knowledge. I have gotten so much spiritual knowledge. I used to say that the woods and the river were my spiritual teachers. They were my original spiritual teachers. Before I found out I could communicate with souls who no longer had bodies. The river and the trees were my spiritual teacher. Get outside and really connect. And that feeling that you get when you're out in nature, that is your soul energy as well. That is what your soul energy feels like. It's a wild frenzy. And it does take balancing. You really have to balance that and really ground that into the physical. That message came through too. And how do you do that? You do that by meditating and grounding yourself. We have the Justice card again. So this is a synchronicity. We have two of them. So that's letting you know, don't worry about if somebody's done something to you, they've wronged you in any way, let it go. The universe sees everything. The universe makes no mistakes, and it always has your back. cornucopia. Once you release that bitterness or that grudge or that victim mentality that you have, you can achieve this abundance. When I see this picture, I think of Thanksgiving. I think of an abundance of having a feast, a celebration. It's a beautiful energy. This is the Papas card, and I hope I say that word right. But I actually looked up the meaning of this, and there's a lot of major arcana in this video. And this is inward. This is the spiritual part of your journey. This is the soul part of your journey. This is not things in the physical. This is your belief system. This is what you believe to be true about the universe. And it's right beside that Justice card. And so the message that's coming through is to make sure that you do release that victim mentality, that whole aligning to bad shit happens to me. And really going within and changing your belief system, turning it around, seeing the cup as half full instead of half empty. And knowing that you are being divinely guided and good things happen to you. And stop expecting things to go wrong and for people to treat you badly. And, you know, to clarify that card, we have this book of knowledge. And this is beautiful. And I have said this before, but every soul holds the blueprints to all that they've been before. You just have to connect to it. You have to meditate, spend time outdoors, disconnect, turn the television off, and really connect with who you've always been, the ancient knowledge that's stored inside of you. And be careful of who your spiritual teachers are. Even like, you know, anything that I'm saying, only take what resonates. I will not be offended, trust me, because I know that we each have our own individual journey that we decided on before we even incarnated in the bodies that we're in. Every time we get ready to incarnate in a new physical form, we decide with our soul families exactly what kind of lessons we want to have. I did want to clarify real quick, all of the people in your soul family are soulmates. A lot of times people associate a soulmate with a romantic partner. It can be a romantic partner, or it can even be your dog. Soulmates come in different forms. The twin flame is different. The twin flame is your divine partner. It's a soul that's split in two physical forms. We all have one. Some of us have have had soul recognition and met our soul in another physical form. And others have not yet, but it's how we were created so that we would experience duality. But that's another video. I'll talk about that at another time. And I'll get to this postcard oracle card last. We have the dog. It says the dog, if near, represents true friends. And, you know, then it's got like this negative connotation down here, but I don't do that. And the reason why is because we create by... we're always creating in our own imagination. So why not create positive experiences instead of negative ones? We have the rider is a sure sign of good news. And so do stay open to this and expect to have good things happen. Just don't add any details to it. Imagine, like I said, you have that blank slate. And you are in a place of positivity and you know that amazing things are coming to you, but you trust the universe to paint that picture for you. And you trust your soul to know what you want and what you need and to bring it to you in the best possible way. That is the energy that I'm getting with that. And I have these postcard oracle cards, and what I've been doing is when I pull one, I've been laying it face down, because I don't want to read it until I get done with the reading, because I don't want my reading influenced by it. Because when I turn this over and I read this message and it's almost exactly everything I've been talking about, it is so magical. So let's see. Dearest you, you have a unique purpose and destiny that only you can fulfill. But first, you need to know that destiny isn't a destination. You don't arrive at some special place where poof, you're perfect and happy all the time. It's about establishing and firming up a commitment to a certain experience, whatever form that takes. Your soul knows what you need to experience. Your destiny is to be present to all of life's adventures, to discover your talents and full potential through allowing inspiration to lead you, and to risk standing apart from the crowd to listen to your soul. You are special as much as you are also paradoxically one with the world, individual yet part of the great whole. Wow. Both truths have led you to this moment where we are saying you are on the right track. Even if your ego self doesn't see that, listen to your soul. Check in with spirit. Keep going. Spirit loves you. Life loves you. We love you. Wow. And it was interesting because it said committed. And this one says, if committed, stay committed. So what I'm getting with that is to commit to yourself. Make yourself the number one priority. I am working on this right now, and it is the most amazing energy. And you magnetize so many things to you when you're focused on yourself instead of focused on other things and other people. It's amazing. It's the perfect vibration that self-love is, to magnetize everything else, because it makes you feel so whole and so complete. But this is the weekly all signs reading, and I'm going to be doing this once a week, and I will get the other signs done today and tomorrow. Thank you for watching.